It's amazing because it's 15 minutes from my house, 15, 20 minutes, maybe 30 door to door, which is great. And then, and I have a 14-month-old baby. So it's great because he just gets to stay at home. He doesn't have to go back and forth to Canada or anything, so it's great. So I'm thrilled. And also it just expands the whole show, where we're not trying to fake, a parking lot in Vancouver to look like Staples Center parking lot. You know what I mean? Like, it's just like, you can, it's great. So it's really good.
That's great.
So, I like saying Dr. Linda. I don't know why.
I like Dr. Linda too. Like, they're like Linda Martin, and I'm like, no, I like Dr. Linda. It's really nice.
Well, congratulations, 3rd season.
Thank you.
What are we gonna see with your characters this year?
Well, what you're going to see with Dr. Linda this season is she's really grappling with being like a celestial insider. It's starting the weight of being the only person that kind of knows that hell actually exists, like that it really exists, that it's not this kind of idea, or that different people have different thoughts about it. It's like it's the real deal. And you see her struggling with that a little bit as she's coming to terms with that kind of thinking. You also get to see how her past is now kind of affecting her present day. It's going to come up. We're going to learn a little bit more about that. And then she also is going to have a relationship that starts forming for her this season, which is really interesting and great, because we haven't seen Linda really have an intimate love relationship in her life since we started the show. So that's great. But yeah, she's gonna have to. It all sort of hits her this season. Everything, like the gravity of everything that she knows, and she starts to lose it a little bit, which is good. So
Gives you another dimension.
Yeah, and she's also very. She's always been the one that's been taking care of everyone, asking questions and finding out, how to be of comfort to other people. But now this season, we're going to see her allow other people to be a little bit of comfort to her, which is kind of nice.
That's nice.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I had asked other people on the set, and they say that you guys don't get the scripts in ahead of time, so you know what to look forward to.
Right.
What is it like for you to work in that type of environment where you really don't know where your character is going to be by the end of the season? What is that like?
Yeah, no. It what's great is that we have great writers that are excited and passionate about the show. So it's really fun to get a script and see what happens. Like, I can honestly tell you that this last script that we got for this upcoming episode was so fun to read, and I was like, oh my gosh, I love this so much. And it's really great when you read a script and you immediately email the writers and say, oh my gosh, I love this so much. It's even great when it doesn't even involve your character and you're excited and you're like, I love where this is going with Lucifer or Chloe or Tom Welling and Chloe or and Lauren. I mean, like, I'm switching people out. You understand? Like, so that's so it's kind of great. It keeps it fresh for us too. So we're not like, well, I know this is going to happen this season. You kind of have an idea of the arc, but you don't really know specifically what's going to happen. So and it's good. So that depending on even what's happening in the times, like what's happening in our world right now with hurricanes and earthquakes and Trump, so am I. You know what I mean? It's like, it's great to have them be able to kind of write to what's going to be affecting people, what people are going to be responding to. So that's great.
Throughout these 3 years, has the subject matter ever creeped you out? Do you go home and you're a little extra afraid of the dark?
And I can't shake it off or anything like
Yeah.
that. What? No, not really. No, you know what? You know why that is? Because I have my own belief system. I have a very strong belief system, and with my God, with my higher power. And so it's very clear to me, and I wish a lot of people understood this, that this show is fiction, and that it's not based on
True
the
story.
actual book. Right. It's not based on the actual book, and that it's based on a comic book, which you guys, if anybody knows that. But what really creeps me out? Well, just whenever I see like the charred bodies and stuff like that, I'm like, ooh, boy, that is rough. Like that creeps me out. But nothing. No, I think it's because I like Tom Ellis so much as Lucifer, and that character is not real, in my opinion. Like it's a fictional character. So I can compartmentalize and do that. I talked way too long about that. I talked way too long about everything, but really, that was a long one. Sorry.
Kind of along the lines of that, we usually ask actors what part of their personal life they bring into the character, but I'd like to know what this character maybe you've taken into your own personal life.
Well, with Linda, I was just saying in another interview that she's very empathetic and not very judgmental. And the only time that she starts to get a little judgmental is when she's scared. And I think I think as human beings, that's what happens. You know, it's when we don't understand something, we get judgmental because it scares us if we don't understand it. So what I love about Linda is that she is she's really trying hard to understand people or entities that are different from her. And so it's her empathy that I really love so much. And I try to make sure that I'm doing that in my own life. And I'm hoping globally people start becoming a little bit more empathetic to people that are different from them. Yeah, that's what I'm hoping. It's hard. It's hard. And I even have empathy for the people that aren't empathetic. That's how empathetic I am. It's very sad. It's very sad. I'm like, well, they didn't know. They were raised this way.
Yeah, it's 2017, so that can only take you so far.
Right?
Yeah.
Right? Okay. I know. Sorry. Stealing from you, Paul.
No.
What are some of the most memorable moments for you in the show?
Some of the most memorable moments for me. Okay, so I loved in season 1 jumping onto Tom, like literally, like he was like, oh, hello, and Linda jumps onto him, and we had like a crash pad down, and it was great. Like it was like a stunt, you know, it was like Linda's version of a stunt. Like I got to like dive on top of him. That was fun. First season wise, I love the relationship with Maze, like that it's a true friendship. And that, again, is another example of being empathetic towards someone and not really understanding them at first, but then trying to get above themselves. So that was great. I loved when Lucifer revealed himself in Monster, his face in Monster. I loved, I mean, there's so many things. Don't even involve my character. I mean, I love the relationship between DB and Tom as being brothers, and that at the end of the day, like they really are just sort of like brothers that are mad at their dad. You know, like I love that real stuff that's really relatable. I love the car when they're driving off. Chloe and Lucifer are driving to catch the private plane or whatever. Like, I mean, I love the action stuff. I loved when Michael Imperioli was on, and that really scary. That shit was scary in hell, where it just kept happening over and over again. He kept stabbing him. I was like, that's super creepy. So I loved that. I loved almost dying at the end of season 2. I loved all the special effects that had to happen with that. I loved, in particular, Maze and Amenadiel's exchange there, where you see that they actually do care about Linda. I can go on and on and on.
Is there any aspect of your character that you want to dive deeper into?
I would love to see Linda's house. I'd love to see where she lives. I'd like to see what kind of couch she got, what kind of television she owns, what her bedding looks like. I mean, that's sort of like a surfacey answer, but I really I really want to know what made Linda become a therapist.
So what do you
That's
think?
what I'd like to see.
Shag, love seats.
Right. Yeah, you know what? I'm thinking that she is maybe a little mid-century modern. Like she's probably very clean lines. For some reason, things are very together for her. I don't necessarily see her as being like a cozy, like she doesn't have like tchotchkes and things like that. I think she's very like clean white sheets.
Minimalist.
White, yeah, she's very minimalist. Yeah, because her office is even that way.
Yeah.
It's not, her chair is like so antiseptic. I was so happy this season, like just the other day we put a pillow on it. I was like, oh, this is great. We're softening it a little bit. But yeah, like I just want to know more about her. I know you're like, that's what I just asked you. You're like, we want to know more too. I know. Yeah. But I'm excited that we get to go into her romantic life a little bit more. So that's really fun. Yeah, you're welcome.
Okay, like we said, this is season 3, but when you first started the show, what really drew you to your character?
What drew me to my character is I loved that she understood that she could see something in Lucifer that nobody else could see, and that he recognized that. And I thought, oh, that's an interesting dynamic. I liked that she was taking the most irredeemable person, thing, entity, whatever on Earth, and finding that we were going to try to explore even the most irredeemable person having redemption. Because I feel like every person on this earth, no matter what you've done, you can make an amends, and you can right things, and you deserve love. And I think that's an important message that we can't hear enough. And so that was great. So that's what drew me to her. And I really did just love the idea of being a therapist. I've been on the other side of the couch so many years. It's starting in my 20s. So I was like, oh, I know how to play this part. I know how to play this role. But then I like that she was also complicated and flawed. That she ends up having sex with the devil. Like, that's pretty unethical. So I liked that she was flawed. I liked that everybody in the show was really flawed. And that everyone's just struggling to do their best. Those are the things that are interesting to me. I like seeing, look, if I want to see like unreality, I'll watch a reality show.
Right.
Like if I want to see like not the truth and just like ridiculousness, I'll watch like Bachelor in Paradise, which I absolutely love. And all the bachelorettes. I love it. Like that for me is like turn off the TV. But like if I want to be really moved and questioned, I'll watch our show or I'll watch like Handmaid's Tale. And I'm not saying that because I just want to know me. Yeah.
Great, thank you guys.
If you like this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel to watch more coverage from MUSE.